Hold on, wait, don't touch that dial. We're interrupting this broadcast for an urgent message. What you're about to see is, well, it's not part of the regular programming. That's right. For the next few minutes, we're cutting through all the usual noise. We've hijacked this channel to bring you a special bulletin. So stop what you're doing and listen up. So, what's happening? We're reporting on a live infiltration, a ghost operation that just went down on the mainstream time-space channel. The mission was codenamed Operation Dead Air. All right, let's look at the mission profile. The operatives are known only as the secret agents of 000. First, there's Agent Zero, aka the lubricant, whose job is to make things too slippery for drama to even get a grip. Then you've got Agent Null, the lazy genius, who does absolutely nothing and yet somehow leaves nothing undone. And finally, Agent Void, the banker, who holds the keys to an infinite treasury. These guys are the real ghosts in the machine. And their target? Get this, the network's top-rated show, The End of the World, Part 4000. You know the type. The anchors, or huffers as our source calls them, were in a total frenzy about interest rates, immigration, the usual panic. It was the perfect moment to pull the plug. And here's how they pulled it off. No explosions, no big confrontation. It was subtle. Agent Zero just stood near the teleprompter, and suddenly the anchor's scripted rage just fizzled out. Agent Null quietly unplugged the so-called drama generator, and the manufactured panic just flatlined. And then Agent Void opened the studio's back door, and behind it wasn't a brick wall, but the open sky. By the time the station managers figured out what was happening and rushed in, the agents were gone. Vanished. The only thing they left behind was this cryptic little note on the anchor's desk, a kind of calling card from the silence. But look, this whole broadcast takeover, it wasn't just some clever prank. It was an expose. It was designed to pull back the curtain on the greatest con job in human history. And who's the target of this con? You. We all are. The con is this idea of false continuity, this mistaken belief that the you who went to sleep last night is the exact same solid, continuous person who woke up this morning. This really illustrates the two ways we can look at our own suffering, or what the source calls the two smells. The first way, the BS, is believing that all your misery and problems are you. The second way, the SS, is realizing that all that stuff is actually high-octane fertilizer. It's fuel for growth. But how do we actually know this self is just a story? I mean, it feels pretty real, right? Well, it's because the prime suspect in this case, the huffer, literally disappears multiple times every single day. Just think about it. You go through 4 daily evictions of the self. First, there's the waking state, where your personal story of who you are, what you're worried about, is running full tilt. Then you fall asleep, and you're in the dream state. That whole story just dissolves. The you who was worried about taxes is now flying over a purple ocean. Then comes deep sleep. No dreams, no body, no I. The self is just gone, completely deleted. And there's even a 4th state, Turiya, where this huffer can vanish even when you're wide awake. And here's the crucial point, the real smoking gun. If the self were a solid, continuous thing, it would have to exist in deep sleep. But it doesn't. It's not there. It vanishes. Which leads to the one undeniable conclusion of this entire pirate broadcast. So, if that suffering self gets totally deleted every single night, why do we so often wake up feeling miserable? It's a great question. And the answer is because every morning, the ego performs what our source hilariously calls the resurrection of the Turd protocol. Seriously, before you're even fully awake, your mind is already logging into its cloud backup and frantically downloading the latest version of your personal misery file. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm the person who's mad at my boss. We just drag yesterday's baggage into a brand new day purely out of habit. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. This whole personal con job becomes even more absurd when you see it playing out on a global scale. It's basically a cosmic political joke. I mean, think about it. Down here on Earth, we argue endlessly over borders and who belongs where. But from a cosmic point of view, we are all just temporary visitors. Your cosmic immigration papers would read something like this. Origin, unidentified. Visa status, tourist, good for about 80 years. Work permit, invalid. And deportation date? Oh yeah, that's 100% guaranteed. And clinging to these temporary identities, it causes a major system error at the end of life, what the Monroe Institute calls the Focus 23 glitch. It's like trying to log into the next level of reality with an old, expired password.
You can just imagine it. The screen goes black, and the user is frantically trying to log back in. First password attempt.
Access denied. Sorry, that identity is no longer valid here.
Okay. Let's try another one. Something more real, more solid.
Error 404, house not found. Nope, you're trying to use a mouse that isn't even connected to the computer anymore. Game over.
Which brings us to the final transmission from our secret agents. The only way to actually win this game is to stop playing by its rules. It's about dropping the hacked ID.
You know, we spend our entire lives carefully crafting this detailed but ultimately fake ID. I am my job, I am my successes, I am my failures, I am my name. But when we get to the final door, the cosmic bouncer just looks at our little card and sees it for exactly what it is, a drawing of a ghost made with crayons. And so, the final broadcast from our pirate station signs off, leaving us with just one single question. If the self, this huffer, this dog, is an illusion that disappears completely every single night, then why do you keep cleaning up its mess every morning?